Hi, my name is Roseanna Elizondo, and today I'm sharing my reflections on the topic of intersectionality and identity. Based on chapters 4 through 6 of Hayes's Addressing Cultural Complexities in Counseling and Clinical Practices, Hayes introduces the addressing framework to help us explore the multiple cultural identities that shape who we are, such as age, disability, ethnicity, social class, sexual orientation, indigenous heritage, national origin, and gender, to list a few. Intersectionality is the idea that these identities do not exist in isolation, but they interact and overlap, shaping our experiences in unique and complex ways. As someone who is Latina American, a first-generation college student, a wife, a mother to 5 beautiful children, and a minister's wife, a graduate-level behavioral health specialist, I have lived firsthand the complexity of navigating multiple identities at once. For example, in academic and clinical settings, I've sometimes felt pressure to minimize or de-accentuate my identity in areas of my faith or my traditional values. These sometimes do not align with mainstream perspectives, and as a result, I find myself having to minimize certain parts of my identity. At the same time, in my home, church, and cultural community, those aspects of my identity are deeply respected and central to how I live my life. That tension has both been challenging and formative. My background also brings awareness to how intersectional identities affect access to opportunities and how people are treated. Being a Latina in higher education and the mental health field has brought moments where I have felt underestimated or even misjudged. Experience that would be very different if I belonged to a majority group or held more social privilege. And that's unfortunate. Hayes encourages us, however, to move beyond the one-dimensional view of clients. In counseling, this means recognizing that each person comes with their own set of intersecting experiences, not assuming sameness, but based on a shared cultural background, but instead being open, curious, and respectful. I am a mother, but that's not all of who I am, but it helps give me understanding into motherhood. I am first generation American, but that's not my sole identity. I am a woman, married, but that's not my sole identity. I'm also curious and a student and a learner and an academic, and all of those things interplay with each other to create the whole person and to help build the whole identity of who I am. As a future counselor, I will approach each client with that awareness. I plan to intentionally use the addressing framework, not just as an assessment tool, but as a mindset. This particular section of our text really resonated with me because there's so many different roles that contribute to who I am as a person. It reminds me to acknowledge that both are visible and invisible parts of the client's identity. I will also regularly reflect on my own cultural experiences, position, and how it influences the counseling relationship. In summary, intersectionality is about honoring the whole person, as I said previously. For me, it means embracing my full identity while creating space for my clients to do the same. As Hayes emphasizes, our goal is to not simply simplify people, but to understand them in all their beautiful complexities. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Again, my name is Roseanna Elizondo, and I look forward to putting this framework into practice with care and humility. Thank you.